Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and since it's Women's History Month, I'm here today to talk to you about Jessie, Season 2, Episode 23, the Jessie-nator, Grudgement Day. So this was an off-the-wall baddie type episode, to where when I watched it, I'm just kind of like, well, hold up now, what in the world is exactly going on? Because it's kind of like Jessie is set in realism, and this episode is very fictional and stuff. And I was just kind of like, what? I'm like, oh, maybe Disney Channel has decided to think outside the box with this show and go a little wacky. I mean, it did cross over with Ultimate Spider-Man, and that's technically canon in some bizarre kind of way. So perhaps, maybe, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. But the episode is pretty cool and everything. It's a take on the Terminator movie, where the robot goes back in time to prevent something from happening. And so, like, that's what happens in this episode. So it starts off in your typical Jessie fashion, to where, you know, the kids are like aggravating each other. You have Luke accusing Zuri of like stealing his joy buzzer, and she's all like, I didn't take it, but apparently she's a kleptomaniac, which they kind of abandoned in this episode. Ravi is trying to make the phrase snap-a-doodle-doo like something happening, but Emma tells him it's never gonna happen. And basically, the kids are very rude to Bertram, and he's all like, y'all don't appreciate me, and you know, one day you're gonna wish you had me and be nice to me and stuff like that. And so it starts off in your typical normal type episode, you know what I'm saying? And then something weird happens. All of a sudden, their little elevator door opens with a bright shine of light, and out comes Bertram dressed as a robot. And he says he's a Bertram-bot. And it's just kind of like, what? But basically, he's here to prevent, well, actually, no, he's here to terminate Jessie and everything for some bizarre reason. And then we'll find out why exactly that is. But he's here just to get rid of Jessie, because Jessie is supposed to it pretty much is a pain in his backside in the future. Apparently he's 60 years into the future, and all of a sudden he's a robot. And so, like, when he grabs her, he grabs the kids as well. And so the only ones that are with him is Zuri and that of Luke. So they go to the future, and it's a dystopian future. Everything's like in ruins. Now the CGI isn't that impressive with the ruins and stuff. Also, the CGI with him shooting lasers at them isn't all that impressive either. I mean, Disney Channel does have pretty okay CGI and stuff, like for wizards and stuff. But since Jessie isn't really that type of show, they just kind of skimped on that, you know. And so they're in the future. I'm just kind of like looking. I'm just like, I don't understand what's going on, but it's cool. Then all of a sudden, the other two kids go in the living room, and then the door opens again, and all of a sudden Jessie comes out dressed in all black, black pants, black tank top, and she has an eye patch over her eye and a couple of streaks of gray hair, but she still looks absolutely the same. Apparently, Jessie is kind of like a Terminator and everything, or better yet, a resistance fighter. And she talks in a different accent, which I appreciate from Debbie Ryan, changing up her voice. Normally when she plays like different characters on the show, like when she played that ghost lady, she changed her voice up and stuff like that. Her monotone robot voice needed some work though, and so, but she's not a robot, I don't think. Somehow she's, I don't know, she might be a cyborg or something, but she has that eye patch. Now, like, why are you wearing an eye patch? She shows them off screen. We don't get to see because she has her back to us, but apparently it's very gruesome. And so, like, apparently she reveals to them that Ravi in the past created a robot, a Bertram-bot, to help out Bertram and everything. And something happened and it turned evil. They got mass produced and now they took over the world. And she's a resistance fighter and stuff. And so she's all wants to know, like, you know, where are the others and this and that. And they don't know that, oh, you know, my young a Bertram-bot was here. So So she's all like, all right, I'm gonna head back into the future and fight him, but y'all stay here. And of course, they jump into the portal. So now they're all in the future and everything like that. And it's funny. They're all like, where's my younger self? And so then they're all like, oh, well, since can we call you old Jessie? She's like, she is not for that. Even though she's 80 years old, but still looks like she's about 19 and stuff. So anyways, the whole world is taken over by tons of Bertram-bots who all have these like helmets on their head, but when you take them off, it's Bertram's face. So like at some point in time, the evil one that came through with the other ones, he put Jessie and them in some kind of like battle dome thing, which is not a battle dome, it's just their park. The little thing you climb, the little spear dome looking mountain thing. I forget what you call it. That's been a while since I've been a kid. And so I'm like, man, they really skimped on the budget for this episode. So she has to fight a robo-cybernetic Mrs. Kipling. And so she's wrestling with him on the ground and everything like that. And so basically the others with the older Jessie, they find a Bertram-bot and they reprogram him. But they need the password. And so Robbie's still saying, snap-a-doodle-doo. And apparently that's the code word and stuff. And he's like, see, I have made it work. Now, Emma is very pissed in this episode because she finds out everything people do in the future except for her. Apparently, she thinks she's a nobody in the future. So this causes her to be enraged and basically have super strength. So you know how when you like in your adrenaline's up and everything, that's where her strength comes from. And she gets enraged every time somebody talks about she's a failure and stuff. So the good Bertram-bot, he is kind of like the Arnold Schwarzenegger character from the Terminator. And in fact, his character is named Arnold. And he uses a couple of Arnold's catchphrases like, I'll be back, or come with me if you want to live, and stuff like that. It's like a funny rip of the movie, man. So basically, they all find each other. Both Jessies try to fight Mrs. Kipling. She helps them out. And then they all hightail it on out of there. But older Jessie gets kidnapped. And so instead of going to the future, Jessie is like, I need to help out older Jessie because, she helped me out. And, that's just something you do and everything. But wouldn't it be better just to go back to the past and prevent Ravi from creating a Bertram-bot and stuff? Then this will solve all their problems. But anyway, they rescue her and stuff. And then they head back to like the hotel and they're all like, all right, we need to shut down the mainframe, to shut down all the Bertram-bots, this and that. It's in the kitchen. And so when they go in there, it turns out the real Bertram, who's about over 100 now, he is in a giant box. Apparently, his head was decapitated and he preserved his head in this this giant like machine. And it turns out he tells them what happened to him and everything. Apparently, Luke had some kind of like explosive device with blue dye in it, and he put it inside Bertram's like drawer with all his utensils. So when he opened it up, boom, he had blue dye everywhere. And so he hates when the kids are mean to him. And he said this is what triggered like the apocalypse and everything. And so basically it's just it teaches you stop being rude to people. Like that's like the cool little life lesson there. Just because you want to prank somebody or you're mean to somebody, you never know what they might do. They might snap one day and hurt somebody, like so many crimes around the world. And it's funny because when Emma had to fight the Bertram-bot, she got enraged when she found out she's the failure, and so she ripped the robot like limb from limb and everything. And so at some point Bertram tries to like stop them, but then they're able to like avert that and deactivate him. Then somehow they take off his head and put his head on a vacuum cleaner, one of those like circle kind that goes around the room. So he's upset that he's gonna be a vacuum cleaner the entire time. So they're all like, we gotta go back to the past and prevent like this from happening and like stuff like that. And because Luke, he ends up finding his joy buzzer too underneath the cabinet. He blamed it on his sister. But basically they go back into the past, and then at some point Bertram-bot like not Bertram-bot, but the older Bertram, he goes back into the past and tries to destroy them. Then it's finally revealed this isn't a dream sequence. Basically, Luke is about to put the blue dye detonator thingy explosive inside the drawer. And Ravi's all like, see, man, if you do that, then that could happen in the future one day. And so Luke looks at him as all like, so you mean to tell me, me putting this blue explosive inside the drawer is going to cause some type of apocalypse? He's like, yes, but he doesn't care and does it anyway. So basically, the entire episode isn't a dream sequence. It's just a what-if scenario that Ravi came up with. A very, very, very bizarre, scientific, like, detailed one. And yeah, it's just a weird episode. And so, like, the end credits show like the kids decorating older Bertram inside the little giant box as like a woman. I don't know if that's supposed to be like them just playing around or is it part of the episode, because that don't make no sense. But one reason why I picked this for like Women's History Month is only because like I wanted to show Jessie in like the superhero-y type like light, and younger one and the older one fought together to stop like the robot apocalypse and stuff. And I've always loved the Jessie show. Jessie was such a cool character. Debbie Ryan played her amazingly. I was so glad when she got her own show and stuff like that. I remember she was Bailey on that Twin show, and I only seen one episode of that Twin show. And I'm just like, man, I was so happy when she got her own show because she really showed everybody what she can do. One thing I forgot to mention is that in this scenario that Ravi came up with, Emma is the one who actually came up with time travel. But older Jessie didn't want to tell her, afraid her ego might get the best of her, mainly because her face is on the Statue of Liberty now and stuff like that. And so, yeah, it's funny. The CGI on the Statue of Liberty, it's not the greatest, but it's all right and stuff. Happy Women's History Month, everybody. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.